Hello, I'm Muhammad Munawir bin Muhammad Syahid, metric number 1715909.
My name is Lokman Hakim bin Muhammad Hanta and my metric number is 1716383.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Ashraf Wajidi bin Ismail. My metric number is 1713525.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Khairi bin Muhammad Fadil, metric number 1719249.
Firstly, in this video we're gonna discuss about type of risk. Second, risk profiling, risk strategy, risk policy and risk supervision. Third, global financial crisis, a new emphasis on corporate risk. Fourth, level of risk, the concept of ERM, and the last one, COSO, integrated framework for enterprise risk management.
As a first presenter, I will explain about type of risk. So we focus on enterprise risk. There are 4 types of enterprise risk. For the first one is compliance, second one financial, third one operational, and the fourth one is strategic. So let's go into detail. First one, compliance risk. What's meant by compliance risk? The compliance risk means that your business need to follow rules and law, which means that if your company doesn't follow rules or law, then it will create a risk that called compliance risk. Number 2, financial risk. Financial risk means that your company need to bear any financial risk. For example, like your business need to bear bad debt or rise in interest rate on business borrowing. For the third one is operational risk. Operational risk means that anything that related with operational that can create a risk to the business. For example, like theft, breakdown machine, or natural disaster. For the fourth one, strategic risk. Enterprise face many strategic risks. For example, they have to consider whether the new product that they produce considered as a fail or success, and also about a new competitor that enter into the market and undercut the price to compete with their product. So they need to plan it well to avoid a strategic risk. So before I pass to the next presenter, that we can conclude that there are 4 types of enterprise risk, which is compliance, financial, operational, and strategic risk. So that's all from me. So I pass to the next presenter.
First of all is risk profiling. Risk profiling is a process for finding the optimal level of investment risk by balancing risk required, risk capacity, and risk tolerance. So, what is risk required, risk capacity, and risk tolerance? Risk required is the level of risk required to be taken by investment to achieve the desired level of investment return. However, risk capacity is the level of investment risk or losses that an investor could afford to take to achieve their goals. And last is risk tolerance. Risk tolerance is the level of risk the investor is comfortable with taking to achieve their goals. So these 3 risks is complete each other in the risk profiling. What is risk strategy? The risk strategy reflects the organization's view of how it intends to manage risk. The strategy specifies strategic planning assumptions, constraints, decision-making criteria, and other factors influencing risk management in the organizations, including context-specific and overall articulation of organization risk tolerance. Next, move on to risk policy. Risk policy is a set of formal instructions or a guidance regarding the management risk to support the achievement of corporate objective protect staff, business asset, and ensure financial sustainability. The usage of the risk policy is focused and tailored to the major risk types facing an organizations. The application of risk policies developed and overseen by the risk committees. Examples, we have market risk policy and credit risk policy. Last but not least is risk supervision. Risk supervision is a procedure of assessing the degree of risk in the company's business operations in determining how to reduce the risk as required. RBS or risk-based supervisory is used by financial institutions nowadays around the world as it becomes the dominant approach to regulatory supervision.
Global financial crisis, a new emphasis on corporate governance. In the wake of 2008 financial crisis, corporate governance has been emphasized more than ever. Financial crises reveal severe shortcomings in corporate governance. The existing standards fail to provide check and balances for companies when it is most needed. Financial services authorities around the world came together to discuss the best solutions to recover the economy and to avoid another crisis to happen again. FSA from the UK, BaFin from Germany, FINMA from Swiss, and many other authorities had published in October 21, 2009 an article named Risk Management Lessons from the Global Banking Crisis of 2008. United Nations had also published another article with 185 pages, with the article named Corporate Governance in the Wake of Financial Crisis. What had happened during 2008 crisis? It all starts from the failures of the housing market. But actually, it all started in the financial industry. They failed to assess the risk. They failed in internal control. It causes sudden withdrawal of global liquidity. Millions of people lose their jobs as companies winding up. Even the big Lehman Brothers that once holds $600 billion US dollar collapse. The crisis has proven that there is nothing too big to fail. All fingers definitely point to the regulatory weaknesses at the national and also international level and poor corporate governance practices, especially in the risk management standards in financial institutions. Risk management and executive compensations have led to excessive risk-taking that are the major causes of the devastating crisis. Prior to 2008 global financial crisis, there were already governing rules put up like Basel II, which failed. According to Financial Times, it was designed to create a safe banking world and give emphasis on ratings and individual risks, but failed to identify systemic risks. What had happened was that banks moved the risk to non-regulated holdings and took advantage of securitization, which in 2008 case, decollateralized debt obligations (CDOs). Basel II Committee and the bank had underestimated both the risk of losses on the assets and their exposure to the failures of others, which in 2008 case is the failure of the defaulting from the houses. Remedial actions. In 2009 summit in Pittsburgh, leaders of G20 that made up of European Union and other 90 countries that are China, Australia, Argentina, Saudi Arabia, South Korea, UK, USA, and all these countries came together. They called for stricter rules for risk-taking, improved corporate governance mechanisms that aligned with long-term performance, and greater transparency in corporate governance. They then formed Financial Stability Board, which is FSB, with a strengthened mandate to pursue the G20's agenda in safeguarding global financial stability. United States White House in 2008 stresses that A private sector compensation review is must as it relates to risk-taking and innovation with an objective to develop regulatory structures that encourages internal incentive structures within financial institutions that promote financial stability and to avoid incentive structures that encourage short-term returns or excessive risk-taking. A detailed course of actions through ERM will be explained further by my colleague, Lokman.
Okay, next I'm going to talk about ERM, which stands for Enterprise Risk Management. The word enterprise here refers to an organization or a company. So basically, ERMs means a process that are made by board of directors of the enterprise in order to detect or identify any potential risk that may occur to their enterprise. So after they detect the potential risk, they will try to manage the risk to be only within their risk appetite, which is the level of risk that are manageable for them. This is because if the risk going out of their hand, it may interfere the enterprise main objective or main goal that they want to achieve. So in order to protect the enterprise main objective, they need to manage the risk. Plus, they also need to disclose their plan of action in order to counter the risk to all of their stakeholders in their annual reports. This is to provide transparency to all of their shareholder, stakeholder, and also their potential investor. Okay, now we move on to COSO, which stands for Committee of Sponsoring Organization of the Tradeway Commission. So basically, COSO is a voluntary joint initiative of 5 private sector, which consists of AAA, American Accounting Association, IPA, American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, FEI, Financial Executive International, IIA, Institute of Internal Auditors, and IMA, Institute of Management Accountants. So these 5 big financial players join together in order to provide guidelines and develop framework for businesses in order to help them improve their organization performance and governance. So that's the objective of COSO. So in 2004, COSO developed an integrated framework for ERM. This framework is to help businesses to achieve their objective. In this framework, COSO divide the objective into 4 main categories, which is strategy, operational, reporting, and compliance. For strategic objective, it is the highest level of goal that the company want to achieve. For example, the company want to be the number 1 player in the industry. So that is the strategic objective of the company. The second one is the operational objective. So this objective is relating to the efficiency and effectiveness of the production in the company. For example, the company want to maintain a 0.1% of defect rate in the production. So that is the operational objective of the company. And the third one is reporting. So basically, reporting means the company want to provide a reliable reporting to both internal and external user of the company. This is because it is important for internal user to have reliable reporting in order to make decisions for the company. While for external user, it is also important for them in order for them to consider invest their money to the company. The last one is compliance objective. This basically means all the action that taken by the company must comply with the law. If any action taken by the company not comply with the law, it will give negative signal to the society, thus it will destroy the value of the company. So this is the 4 main objectives that mentioned in the framework by COSO. This framework can help businesses to achieve these 4 objectives. Recently, in 2017, COSO made an updated version of this framework. This is because the development of technology that changed the behavior of the risk. Thus, also make an updated version of this framework in order to make it relevant 10 to 20 years in the future.
Well, that's all from us. Hope you get something from this video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.